Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Dini Khoirunnisa. I'm a student at Department of English Education, UIN Hidayatullah. In this video, I will tell a review from a textbook. The name is Montessori Toddler. First, I will tell about the author of this book. So the author of this book is Simone Davies. She is a mother of 2 children. And the reason she made this book because she loved her children and she get inspired from them, and the other because she loved toddlers. The other information about her, she joined the training of Montessori in 2004 with Association Montessori International. And for more information about her, you could read it above me because I put some information about her. So I can jump to the next thing. So I will tell about the content of this book. This book has a 10 chapter and it discusses about Montessori. Oops, I forgot. It exactly tell about the Montessori because the title of this book is Montessori Toddler, right? I mean, kind of the meaning of Montessori parenting, or how we build the communication with the children in a Montessori way. And I will discuss it by chapter, one chapter by one chapter. So the first chapter is discuss about introduction. It contain discuss about the author engaging the readers to change our perspective or our way to see children, toddlers. And second is the reason why she loved toddler, and I pick one reason because it's interesting for me. Reason is children pick up something with effortlessly. It means they do something without effort. The example in languages, we don't need to sit down with a 1-year-old children in an hour to teach them about the grammatical or structure, because by the 3 years old they already have amazing vocabulary and they know how to structure, to use it. And then the next topic is, the next point is, it's what we, parents need to know about toddlers. And the others is parenting the Montessori toddler, and the, what we can get from this book. It's chapter 8. In chapter 2, it discusses about the introduction to Montessori. It it discusses the history of Montessori and comparison about the traditional education and then Montessori education, and some of Montessori principle. And then the chapter 3. In chapter 3 is discuss about activities for toddler. Montessori activities for toddler, like what kind of activity for children. What kind of activity Montessori for children, and how we show it to toddlers, and how we set up an activity, and so on and so forth. And now we'll jump into the chapter 4. In chapter 4, we discuss the setting up the home or the room for Montessori and for children. So kind of the topic or the point in this chapter is how to setting up a Montessori style in a room, like in the living room, in a kitchen, or a bathroom. And and etc. And it also contains a general principle to keep in parents' mind. And then the other is the importance of home environment. And it also contains the important things because this book is showing the picture of every room in a Montessori style. You can see behind me. Beside me. I will show it. Next, I will tell the chapter. The content of the chapter 5. So in chapter 5, we discuss how to raise a curious child and who feels seen and heard. It in chapter 5, it separates into parts. So the first part is how to encouraging curiosity in our child. In child. And then the second part is how we accepting our children for who they are, because it's important for our parents. And then we jump to the chapter 6. In chapter 6, it separates for two parts again. It seemed like a five in chapter 5. So the chapter 6 is how we cooperation and responsibility in our child. So the first part is it discusses about why the Montessori approach does not use threats, bribes of punishment, and how we solving a problem with children. And the second part is discuss about setting limits. In the Montessori, it's okay to set a limit if the tutor couldn't cooperation with us. In chapter 7, we discuss about putting Montessori into practice, and it's separated in three parts. So the first part is practice in a daily life, like eating, sleeping, brushing teeth, or something like that. And then the part 2 is how we change their habits, toileting or siblings, and then saying goodbye to pacifiers, and the part 3 is how we use a skill for our parent toddlers learn, like sharing and learning how to interrupt an adult, something like that. And then we jump to chapter 8. Chapter 8 is discuss about the important thing. Why it's important? Because this book is discuss being adult. It's important for parents being adult before they teach children, because parents is a role model for their children. And we jump to chapter 9. In chapter 9, it discuss about working together, like discuss about how are the key to working together as a family. And then how we solving a conflict in a family, and to know that divorce is not a dirty word. something like that. I mean, so on and so forth. And then the next, the last chapter in this book is what next. It seemed chapter 8. It seemed important because in this chapter we, I mean, it discussed about what next. It means we need to prepare for toddler in the next age or next life. Like the first point, it's discuss about getting ready for preschool or school, and then the second is the coming years and the changing time in education, and so on and so forth. We'll show a lot of content in every chapters in here. So the next things is for my opinion for this book. The first point is I think this book is best for parents because it's showing about the needing of parents to know for raising a children, and it's really interesting. It's also interesting for educators because or a teacher. Because teachers or educator it also need to know how to build a communication with the children or toddler in the class. Maybe it could be practicing in a class, and then I will tell about rate for this book from 1 to 10, and 1 it's easy and 10 it's hard, and for me I will give 2 because it's easy to read this book because the author use an easy word to understand, comprehend the book. It's easier to comprehend this book. And the next point is the best feature from this book is this book showing the room for Montessori style. So the parents not on imaging about the the style of Montessori, so they could see it in the book, so they could apply in their homes. And the other is because this book is they put interesting design. So the next point is disadvantages and advantages from this book. I started from advantages. Advantages from this book is they use easy word to comprehend. So parents want to read again and read again because it's easier for them to understanding. And the next is disadvantages from this book is this book use so many design or picture, and it make parents or readers boring to read. I think it's more advantageous from this book because like I said, it's easy to know, and the author put interesting thing in this book. I hope you could enjoy with this video. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.